time for Dusty News. First thing I do is start coughing. I tell you, the allergies is just like killing me. But I'm here with my LaCroix in hand, and I also have some wine just in case. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad you could make it for this kind of last minute scheduling because I just got the idea to do this yesterday. And, you guys, first I want to thank everybody who has been sending in screenshots and memes and links to things that are just crazy. This is just unbelievable. And the sheer and vast, overwhelming numbers of crazy stuff that dudes post online. It's mind boggling. And they, like I said, they had their name there and their face and everything, just no shame at all. It's just too unbelievable. So before we get started, let me, for those of you who may have come across something or, this is triggering some thoughts, this gives you instructions for how to send in your slides if you would like to try to see if, it's going to be something that we can use on these segments. Just email them to survivingdating@gmail.com as described there. Make the subject line Dusty News. And then that way it will filter into the folder that I set up in my email for all of this stuff. It'll just go right in there so I don't have to search through my hundreds of emails trying to find it. So remember that Dusty News as the subject line, survivingdating@gmail.com, and email me anything that you find that you think would be fitting. I can't talk. Fitting for this segment. Okay. So let us. You guys ready? It's a lot of slides today, so let's go. This one I came across. Uh, I don't know where I found it to tell you the truth. I can't remember. But this dude was bragging about his 90-year-old grandmother's birthday party. And he was saying that, she was beautiful with her 9 kids and her 19 grandkids and over 30 great grandchildren. And she looked over, he's romanticizing it. She looked over the life she created and cried tears of joy. A woman's purpose complete, a life fulfilled. She will die happy. Never once did anyone mention her career, he says. You know what that lady was thinking? You know what that old lady was thinking? All you bitch ass motherfuckers sitting up here looking at me be old. Where were you when I was younger? Why did I have all these 9 damn kids? I wish they would have had birth control and abortions legal when I was pregnant with you. That's what she was really thinking. And he got it all romanticized, thinking that it's going to be something, you know, that she's all, crying tears of joy. She was crying tears because she realized that 90 years of her life had been spent in servitude to other people, and she don't have shit to show for it except their trifling two-bit pieces of shit ass. That's why she was mad. I mean, that's why she was crying. Yeah, a life fulfilled, a woman's purpose. Like that's the only thing she's supposed to be here for is to pop out babies. Let me put it back so you can see it again. A woman's purpose complete. See that? One, two, three. Fourth line up from the bottom. Yeah, she was crying. She was crying because they make her sick and she's too old to get away from them without help. That's why she was crying. It's like all these noisy motherfuckers up in here. Why don't they go somewhere? I want to spend my birthday by myself in here and quiet. Oh, but you get my idea. It's just so funny to me. Men's idea of women's lives is just such a fantasy. They don't see the strain and the stress that they cause. He's got it all romanticized like this was some great, grand, and wonderful thing. This was like all she ever lived for was to breed and then have more grandkids and then have great grandchildren. And that alone makes her feel fulfilled. I bet you not one time did this motherfucker ever ask his grandmother, Grandmother, what was it that you wanted to do with your life that you didn't get to do because you was too busy having babies without benefit of birth control? What was it that you dreamed of being when you were a girl? What things did you want that would have made you happy and feel satisfied that you spent your years here on this planet contributing to it and to your growth and development? What were those dreams that you had? Not one time did he mention that. Yeah, you know what I mean? They don't think about that kind of stuff. They only think about what you do for them and their view of what your world must be like and why it's so wonderful to have that a fantasy that goes on in their head. I don't know. But as I think girls, we ask those kind of questions of people because we really want to know what's in their hearts. Men don't care. And this meme here is a perfect example of it. Okay. Nobody mentioned grandmother's career, but I bet your grandmother wanted to wish that she would have had one. All right, let's move on to the next slide. This you can tell where I got this from. This is a Facebook thing. And this dude says, I am a species of man, as if there's different species of men. I guess maybe there are. I don't know. Are there different species of men? I was unaware of that. But this dude seems to feel that like there are, and he can speak from experience. I think being a part of a species that can breed willingly at any time throughout life, it's just in our nature to, have whoopee as we please, honestly, with whoever we please. And with that being said, if you're a woman and loyalty is something you demand, a man who can't or isn't willing to go against his own nature may not be the one for you. So see, he's saying he's a species, trifling, exodus, magnanimous versus regular dudes. So he's one of them trifling dudes that you do not want to put any kind of emotional investment in. And were I you ladies and I ran into someone with this mentality, I would not want to spend 5 seconds of my time with this. Because see, dudes like this have no boundaries. So he says anytime he wants to with whoever he pleases. Well, that could be your mama, your sister, your 13-year-old daughter. Are you feeling me? So you got to be very careful with men like this. And I don't know. I'm just not feeling dude at all. Not at all. But he feels like it's part of his nature, and that's his right. They wrote about the misery of women who have baby after baby. Yeah, I'm just how could you not be miserable? That would make me feel like suicidal. And it's no wonder so many women. You know how they used to have all them women they show them old Victorian shows. The women would go to the nutty house, the insane asylum, and stuff, and they just be wandering around, just mumbling to themselves and just just their mind just snapped. You know why? Some of it was because they had syphilis and stuff, and people didn't know about that in those days because penicillin hadn't been invented yet. So some of it was that, because that stuff will rot your brain. But the other part was that the women were like, they were so depressed at the limits placed on them to be and do and go and wear and say. They couldn't do anything unless it was approved by a man. First their daddy, then their husband. And if they never got married, then it stayed their daddy forever. All these limits by society about what women can and cannot do, say and cannot say. You can't wear that. You can't do that. Women don't do that. That kind of stuff. Those women were just out of their mind. They're popping out baby after baby, the drudgery of it, the sheer misery of it. They would want to be suicidal and stuff. I don't know. So let's go move on to the next one because he's silly. Now this dude, they really be on one and have a bee in their bonnet about single mothers. I don't understand what that's all about because it's like if you don't want single mothers, then when you start doing your stuff around, dicking around, get married, and then guess what? The rate of single motherhood will drop astronomically overnight. There wouldn't be any because y'all would be married. So he's complaining that, women say that y'all say that y'all, okay, first of all, he needs some education. are independent and don't need a man, and then will go get every government assistance voucher available. The government is y'all man that y'all depend on. Single mothers is the last person I want my taxes to go toward. F them, he says, let them starve. Okay, so what, single mothers, mother is the key word here. They're on these things because of the children. Okay, so basically he's saying fuck the kids, let them starve. That's essentially what this pig is saying. And uh the money isn't going towards the mother, the money's for the kids. And if you raggedy ass men who be making all these babies would step up and pay your child support and pay for your kids and buy them school clothes and feed them and put a roof over their head, if you did that shit, then she would need to get the government to step in. Because you would be doing it. But when you don't do what you're supposed to do, and then she gets the white boys to do it, aka the government, then don't get an attitude. Don't get attitude. She got that because your trifling two-bit piece of shit ass is not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So this is you. This is all your fault. You men, you black men, since you want to be specific, you say black women, so I'm going to say black men. Every single problem with a single woman and single mother in the black community is your fault. You did it. You made her pregnant and you didn't marry her. You don't take care of your kids, so your kids get on government assistance. Y'all is trifling two-bit pieces of shit that ain't worth nothing. And then you had a nerve to post this on there, talking about let them starve. I always knew they wasn't shit. How you gonna say some stuff like that about a little kid? The little kid didn't ask to get here. That's not the child's fault. Nasty shit. And so, this and look, he got his like I said, they got their name and face all up there and just proud of saying ignorant shit online. And don't have no shame, no embarrassment at all. That's what they do, mind over matter. They focus, they're like crabs, right? They get one idea, one concept, and they grab onto it so because it gives them a feeling of something. When you have people like this that have no life, they have nothing going for themselves. No creative anything. They're not building nothing. They're not inventing nothing. They're not doing nothing positive for themselves or anyone else. They're pieces of shit. So when you have a piece of shit, what that piece of shit wants to do is feel alive, and then nobody's loving them, nobody's paying no attention to them. They're the ones that's complaining that women don't want to be with them. Okay, so when you have somebody like that who's empty inside, the only way that they can feel alive is with anger. Okay, because anything else makes them seem vulnerable and weak even in their own eyes. But anger is acceptable amongst other men. So what they do is find something and they get together in these little pods online on these forums and websites and YouTube channels, and they get angry, and that's how they all feel alive because they don't have no family to love them. They don't have no girlfriend to love them. They don't have no wife to love them. They don't have nothing. They're not creative. They go to work and they come home and watch TV or get online and be angry. That's their life. And so when you see that kind of person, posting this kind of thing, I understand that that's what that's coming from. But there are hundreds of them, and they just, they focus on single mothers or they focus on women trying to use them for a free dinner, meal, whatever. Or they focus on, these women trying to get my loot, and that's why you can't get married. I mean, each have like a thing, but what it is that thing being angry about that gets their adrenaline pumping, their heart racing, which is normally the feelings that you would get when you're in love with somebody. When you touch them or look at them and are around them, those are the same feelings that you get. They have it in a negative way, but they're still getting it. Yeah, it's just dust miteness. Okay, let's move on from him. Now, this person here is trying to tell women that their goals, the goals that they have for themselves, to become something, to make themselves proud of themselves in a way that gets the respect of other people in the world, like on a world platform, like a doctor or, a barrister or an engineer. That they're battling to affix you're battling to fix your name to those things, but they might all be in vain if your husband decides that you won't be practicing. By the way, would you rather disobey your husband or would you obey him and keep your marriage? That's the thing. Okay, now why would a woman marry a man who wants her to be nothing unless she's crazy? There's like women who get those things and get married and work in corporate law or do whatever they're going to do for a decade or so, and then if they get married decide that's where they just start their family, well then they might work part-time or stop work for a few years while they do that. But it's her choice, not it's not his. And really, why would a woman want to marry a man with this caveman type of attitude? Based on what he decides. You don't get to decide what I do with my education in my life. What a woman would do would just marry a man who is proud of her for being that doctor, that barrister, that engineer that she's battling to affix to her name. He wants a woman who's educated and accomplished and polished, sophisticated, and professionally accomplished. That's what he wants. And so that's why these little scrub type of dudes, the ones we call these beta dudes, just really struggle getting and keeping a relationship because they don't know how to love anybody and appreciate anybody for the way that they are. They want to keep you down and minimize you, make you feel like you're less. So he puts himself in control of what you do. I mean, have you ever seen anybody be more blatant about wanting control? And how many times have I told you, ladies, this? I must say this on every single broadcast numerous times. Men's number one goal in life is to control women. Everything they do, everything they say, every little game they run, every lie they tell you, everything that they do is designed to get the upper hand and to control you. This one's not even trying to hide it. Would you rather disobey your husband or would you obey him to keep your marriage? I would not obey a goddamn thing. How about we get a divorce? The first time a man tried to, we're not even going down that road. We wouldn't even be dating long. Because soon as that's what I do. As soon as they try to control me, I end it. I told you I broke up with the dude who asked me who was on my phone. You don't even get to ask me that. Your motherfucking ass ain't paying this bill. This is my bitch ass phone. I'm the only one that has any decision making power over when it's used, who it's used to, how long it's used, anything. That's me. That ain't you. So you don't have a say in what goes on my phone. So I read his ass to write at and then threw him out of my house, and that was it. Threw him out of my house and out of my life. I don't play those kind of games. You don't get to control me. Shit, my daddy didn't even control me. How do you think some knucklehead coming along, Johnny come lately, is going to have any kind of control? Yes, Tetra, you would be right. But they don't want that because these men are unevolved. They haven't learned how to accept what the word partnership means. They only want you to be a partner when it's convenient for them, as in paying your half for a meal or taking them out and you paying, or you driving your car to pick them up and drive them around, that kind of thing. Okay, they want it to be, uh, a modern woman then, but in anything else where you're going to outshine them, they don't want that. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. This one is kind of long, but this one is very scary for certain people who may be triggered by this one. Please, turn away from your computer right now. Or may go do something else, mute the sound or something for a minute. Um, because this is weird. This guy's very weird, and it takes into account the warning that I have for women who say, well, they want to trust their husband around their daughters and all this stuff. I don't trust no man. I don't care who it is. Who it is. It's a man, it's a male, a teenage boy around girls. Not don't do it. This guy is talking about his own daughters and saying that you know, you are feeding, clothing, raising, and rearing a girl for at least 18 years solely so she can go and get ravaged by another man. All the hard work that you put into your beautiful little girl, all of it has one simple result: her body is more enjoyable for the men that will eventually fuck her in every orifice. Yeah. So, and again, his name was there. This white is, read it out because this was just too much. But a lot of guys are like that. Why do you think they be having that thing they make them jokes about, these purity balls where the girl pledges her virginity to her father? What do you think that's about? It's the same thing. It's couched in religion, and so it's given this the girl staying with the father, and he's quote protecting her innocence and all this kind of stuff. But in actuality, they're lusting after their own daughters. You know, and of course, before people get all upset, did I say every man? No. But it's enough of them that you need to be careful. This is like these older men are trying to go after young girls. Don't you think that's kind of suspect when they have the girl that they're going after is only a year, 2, 3, maybe 5 years older than their own daughter? Doesn't that creep you out? So I mean, to me, this is a widely held belief, but what it is he was able to articulate it and put it into words, and then of course I found it and I'm showing it to you because I want you guys to understand. This is something I cannot drill into your heads enough. You have got to protect your daughters. Every time, you always hear about the stepfather, right? Been with the baby since she was a baby, that she don't know no other daddy, and then how he, ultimately what happens when she gets about 13, 14. We hear these stories all the time, right? So, I just want you guys to, people, a lot of women like to have these blinders on when it comes to men and think, well, this one is different. And he may prove himself to be. But see, the way that I operate is you guilty until proven innocent. Now I'm gonna start from the position that you are guilty and that you think like this, and I'm gonna put moves in place to protect my child. Now, if ultimately we make it through her childhood and she makes it into adulthood, and you've never said, done, or looked at her any kind of cross-eyed way, well, then I will remove that charge from your record, and you can be scot-free. You might even get to see your granddaughter. But until then, you charged. You're guilty as far as I'm concerned. You prove yourself not the other way around. Because by then somebody's gonna be hurt. Okay. So I just wanted to share that with you, so we're moving on so the untriggered people can come back. Okay, now this one is another one where they be talking about the single moms thing again. Some kids are fatherless, he says, because their mom wants to prove a point. Now, what point might that be, sir? Because you know what? There's courts, sir. There's no way in this world that any woman can keep you from your child if you want to be there. There's nothing and nobody. When men in prison get visitations with their kids in some states, it depends on what crime they did too. But to where the people who had custody of the child, he could have killed the mama, and he still will have rights to visitation. And somebody will have to bring the kid to see him in prison. So there's no excuse for these things. What these men talking about? Um, kids have problems because trying to blame it on the mother. No, no, that's you, Holmes. That's you. You are not stepping up to take care of your child. You don't want to. It's easier for you not to. It's easier for you to play victim and get pity pussy. That's what you be after. Because you want the other woman, some women who are dumb enough to believe you, well, she won't let me see my child. And those of you who believe that bullshit, stop it. Stop it. What you're supposed to do is stop, just be like so dumb and go for it. Is say, well, what moves have you put in place to try? Did you go to court? Who's your attorney? Maybe you need a new attorney. When's the last time you've been to court? Well, what did the judge say? You know what I mean? Y'all don't be asking the right questions. You just let them say that vague, silly shit, and then you sign on to it. Oh, really? Oh, I wouldn't do that to my baby daddy. I don't know what they be thinking. That's what you all do. But yeah, he trying to blame the mother for the fact that the father's a piece of shit and not going around his child. You don't have to go around her. You can get supervised visitation if you want to. You can go, I mean, it costs money, but you go to the little center and they set up for kids of different ages, video games and stuff. And they have the stuff for the little kids in one area and stuff for middle school kids in another area. And, bigger kids that have couches and stuff where they can sit there and talk to their parents because they're teenagers. And, you have your visits with your kid there, and she can't come in there. You don't have to ever see her, talk to her, nothing. And after the kid gets a certain age, they can call you by themselves. They don't need the mother's intervention. You don't have to see or talk to that woman ever again. So this is just weak excuses for and blame shifting and lack of accountability and irresponsibility and all of those things that I lecture you guys to watch for in men all the time. All right. Now this was supposed to be a joke, I think, but I'm still waiting to laugh. So like betting on the death of the kid because they didn't get any vaccine. Yeah. I don't, what do you say to something like this? It's just so crass and crude. Yeah, teacher was right. They start living a new life, reliving a single life as if they have no kids. That's exactly what they do. Run off and make a whole new family, a whole new, baby daddy situation. But anyway, this one is not too much to say. It's just sick and twisted mentality. So let's go next. Now, catch this. I loved her response, so I included it. He says a lot of women, a lot of women really don't know how to give head. Most women don't even start till they're adults. Okay, so you sit there, and I was pondering that, for a minute. I was like, okay. And then I happened to, look down and saw, so when are they supposed to start, R. Kelly? Oh, she was brilliant. I love that. But you see what I mean? It's like, oh, hey, thanks, Alexandra. What is it that you're supposed to do with a man like this? Yeah, that comeback was the best. What, and why would why women need to know all that anyway? It's like, they have these men can't fuck their way out of a paper bag with both ends open, but they want you to be like the sex tricksters of the world. And I'm like, see, my thing is not, I ain't pulling out all my tricks for some miscellaneous stray nog. I don't do that. These special treats, I only do those for somebody I'm married to. That's my rule. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing nothing special. I'm just not. I'm just not going to do it. And so, a lot of women won't do anything. I mean, they won't have sex, period. Well, I'm not that extreme. But there's just certain things I'm just not going to do. If I'm not married to you, you just don't get to see that side of me. I just don't. Yeah, he need to be on some kind of list. These would dudes, but I mean, I'm gonna point these things out to you guys because I want you to understand. As we go through these slides, the ones I've already showed you, and the ones that are still to come, you need to understand how many men are pedophiles. They're pedophiles. I don't even know, there's like millions of them. I was just reading an article today where they were talking about the people that are in the UN, like when they go into war torn countries or after disaster or something, the UN sends these workers in. This article, this guy was they call him a whistleblower. He blew like 60,000 cases of child molestation and rape over the past 10 years, and those are only, they feel like it's really like three times that many, and that whole UN group that goes in and, like Project Hope and these different things that, where they go into these areas to quote help people, are all they're pedophiles. They always try to position themselves to be in a situation where they are around vulnerable children. And what better place than where there's no supervision, everything's in an uproar, and people are desperate for assistance. The kids have lost their parents. They don't know what's going on. They're just out there, just like lost. And so these people swoop in, put them in a house and this and that, and then the abuse begins. And the kids have nobody to protect them. These are supposed to be the people that are protecting them, and said those are the ones victimizing them. And this goes on around the world. We know what happened in in Haiti and Jamaica and these different places, and it's something to think about. So I don't know. I'm just really like I'm just glad my daughter's grown. Oh my God, I would probably be a nervous wreck. I would quit my job and just be on welfare till she was 18. I just couldn't find something to do at home where I could watch her every day, all day myself, because I just couldn't do it. There's just too many creepy weirdo men around here. You just can't trust them. Even Latasha, it don't even matter if they ugly. I'm talking about what's on the inside. A lot of them are physically not ugly. What's ugly is their head. They are after your kids. Okay, they're after your children. And so they will get with you as a single mom, you thinking that, the guy likes you and he really likes your kids. And he's just dealing with you because that's his access to them. So, there's a video on this channel, or several of them really, about the risks of being a single mother dating. And I will try to remember to link to it, you know, around here. I'll put it up there so you can just click it after the show, after the video processes and everything. And then you can just click it and listen to that show. And I go into a great bit of detail about it. Yeah, daycares too. It's like, I told you about the one I went to when my daughter was about 6 weeks old. I was looking, I need to go back to work, right? And I went to this house, I was going to take her to family daycare. And I went in this house, and this lady, very nice house and stuff, black couple, it was cool. And, then suddenly we're sitting there talking, and her husband comes down the stairs. Now, this is the middle of the day. I'm like, oh, is it his off day? Because, sometimes people have, they work, they have like Sunday, Monday, or I don't know, Wednesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Tuesday, or something. Split days. And so I'm like, oh, is he sick or I'm trying to figure out why this grown ass man is in the house. And she's like, oh no, he helps me with the kids. I immediately knew my daughter was not going to be there. This was not going to happen. There's no reason that a grown ass man need to be in the house with a bunch of little kids. Get your ass to a job. So, that's what I want you guys to think about. And am I saying every single man is like that? Absolutely not. But like I said, in my mind, you're guilty until proven innocent. My top priority is protecting my child, not your feelings. All right, now this was really odd because I pulled this off of my wall the other day. This lady here, had shared how she felt objectified by a man, and this guy was very, staring at her like she was a piece of meat. And she remembers feeling the ickiness at 6 years old. Now, some people don't think that little girls are that aware at 6. That's not true. A lot of them us are old, more aware, even younger than that. When somebody's looking at you crazy and you get the itchies and you tell your parents or you go hang to your mother closer and stuff, you feel it. You might not be able to articulate what it is that you feel, but your gut instinct tells you that this person is dangerous to your safety. Okay, so the kids will run to their parents. They'll hide by their parents, hold on to their parents' legs and look at the person. You've seen little kids do that. They're sensing danger. Okay, and so that yeah, this girl Betty, that guy was on the phone too. I cussed his ass out. But this is the kind of thing you got to watch for. Okay, so now this man comes along. I don't know who this fool is. This is one of these new people that came from some man's site after my stuff went up about why women hate men, and so he's like never knew staring at someone was considered to be an assault. But seriously, that man could have had some disability. Never judge someone by how they look. No, do judge them by how they look. See, this is some gaslighting shit right here. He's trying to tell women, well, just accept that a man is going to be staring at you and making you uncomfortable. It doesn't matter. That's not assault. There's no law against it, this and that. It doesn't matter if it's a law that she's acknowledging her feelings about the fucking creepazoid who was staring at her at 6 years old. Okay, and she was tuned in enough to know that this wasn't right. The way he was looking at her wasn't right. And this dude's gonna come along and say, well, don't be judging people like that. No, do judge them like that. And then when you feel that thing, see, this is what bothers me so much. So many women get talked to like that, and so they start second guessing themselves and doubting themselves, and say, well, no, I shouldn't think like that. And so you put yourself in positions where it's dangerous for you to be there. You're trying to please somebody else's feelings and worry about their feelings instead of your own safety. Your gut reaction is telling you that this is a bad person. Okay, and what do you need to do when you feel a bad person? You move away from them. You put distance between yourself and that person. So what he's trying to do is put you in a position where you're doubting your own instincts, where you're dismissing your own warning bells in order to make this man not feel bad about you, not wanting him staring at you like that. Just a fucking pervert. They just cover for each other. It's just too unbelievable. So, these slides are a lot heavier. I think, some of our other ones have been, funny because you rolling your eyes like, oh my God, these dudes are stupid. But these are so bizarre and, just so weird. I don't know. Because I told you guys about the dudes who came into my old apartment before I moved out to the suburbs with the white people when I used to live in Oakland. And I was renting this condo, right? It's extremely nice building, and it got bought out. The people who original owners sold it to this real estate investment company, and what they did was move everybody on the second and first floor out and made those two floors Section 8. So it changed the whole nature of the building. I was gonna move, but I was gonna wait. I'm almost on the third floor, and the view of life. It was a wonderful spot, real central in Oakland, right off the freeway, all the stuff. And I had my daughter in a private school near there. So we walk in the door, right? I'm there getting my mail. And these two weed smoking, hair braided, pants sagging, skinny looking, just dust mites came walking through the door. And it was a security door. Somebody had propped the door open for them. Okay, so it was crazy. Then they see my daughter, and she's like with pigtails and, little bows in her hair because she was like 10 or 11 years old. And little flat chested skinny girl just jumping around like little kids do, jumping, jumping, jumping. And they stopped where they was going and started staring at her. Like, and I'm going through my mail. You know how you go through mail. And I happened to look up and see them looking at her like that. And I said, Taryn, come here. And so she came over, and I said, this little girl is 11 years old. Get the fuck on. I'm thinking, don't make me reach in my purse and pull out my stun gun and have to tap your asses with it. Because you going down 100,000 volts. I was not playing. They was going to be laid the fuck out. And so they like, oh, Ma, it ain't nothing, Ma, this and that. Ain't your damn Ma. Take your ass on upstairs. This is a child. Go see whoever, whatever bitch you here to see. But it ain't her. And so, that we went upstairs, right? I fired up my computer and I started looking for a place to move that day. That was around the middle of the month. And by the end of the month, we was out of Oakland and did not come back until she was an adult. And that's how I handled that. It's like, nah, we're not even going down this road. We're not doing that. So, this is the kind of thing I'm telling you, got to be alert and aware all the time. Because had I still kept looking at my mail, see, I would have never seen that. And she would sometimes have to come in the house by herself. Now, what if she had come in right before them and she's going away to, waiting to get in the elevator to go up to the third floor or something, and they get in the elevator with her, then what you think might have happened? See, my mind, I do all this kind of thinking because I try to prevent shit like that. And so as soon as I saw how they was looking at her, I was like, my mind was calculating, okay, I need to figure out how to protect her. And while I was looking for a place and stuff those next couple of weeks, I changed my work schedule so that my black ass was at her school to pick her up from school every day. Every day. I called my boss. I'm like, I got to change my schedule. And all my clients that I used to have in the evening, I canceled. So I can't train you I could do it on the weekend or something, but I can't do it, in the evening, right? Not right now. And so they understood. I explained, and that went on for a couple of weeks. And once we moved and stuff, it was cool. Things changed. So that's why, ladies, you got to keep your money right so that you can make moves like that. Get your money right and get your credit right. Stop buying designer shit and spending money on expensive stuff for your kids. Bank that cash. Get them some shoes from Walmart or somewhere. I mean, somewhere as long as it's good, supportive shoes. They don't need no $90 shoes and they still growing. Don't do that. Be sensible with your money so you can make moves like what I had to do to get my baby the fuck up out of Oakland, like now. Okay, but if I was all in debt and stuff with from buying stupid stuff and having credit card debt and stuff, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So, you got to plan in advance. You got to be able to have your shit ready so you can, um, bust a move if you need to. All right, so let's move on to the next one and get off my soapbox. This was kind of amazing. This girl posted that, she was all grinning and stuff that she posted that she cleared up his child support balance that he's been paying for 16 years. I'm like, okay, well, she's an adult, so I mean, that must mean it got filed late late. And so he wasn't paying it when he should have been. So he was behind. Because, when it's child support, they don't care if the kid is 45. You still owe child support. Your ass is still going to be paying it. They don't care. But she cleared it up, and then it shows him looking all, crying and stuff. And I'm like, okay, he's crying because he didn't do nothing. He half paid the child support, and she cleared it up for him, so he gets off the hook and don't have to pay nothing. And she thinks that's a good thing to post online. That's embarrassing. And if my daughter had done some dumb shit like that, I would rent a helicopter and fly up in the sky and drop kick her out of it because she's too stupid. Oh, you saw Alexandria? Yes, child. Oh, this was a video? Oh, I don't know. I didn't know it was a video. I only got this little clip right here. I stole this off of Facebook today. I'm like, this dude is a trip. I actually changed one of the slides that I took the slide off. I switched the picture to put this on here today, just this afternoon, because I ran into it this afternoon. And I was just too astonished. There's no way in this world I would let my daddy off the hook. I'd be like, motherfucker, you only paying a pittance of what it cost me. You gonna pay every red cent. Every one, plus the interest. I'm never letting you off the hook, ever. You didn't let my mama off the hook. Yeah, I was just amazed. But anyway, we don't need to spend too much time on that. But that poor child, she's so confused. They saying she a pick me daughter in the chat. I guess that's a very accurate. He should say it's Build a Bum Inc. Oh, can you imagine? Now this I found this on my computer. I don't even know how long I've had it. This is not necessarily something that one of them posted, but it's one that we would post about them. I look better than that nigga she with. I don't even know what kind of fish that is, but it is hideous. But you know what? I knew a guy who looked like that. He wasn't blue, but he definitely looked like that and had the nerve to be trying to holler. I was like, oh, feet, feet, let's go. Because we need to be moving in the opposite direction. Why is it that the ugliest dudes in the world I always want, I got hit on by a dude one time who was in a wheelchair. He was in a wheelchair. I'm crossing the street down in Market Street in San Francisco. See, much of my life I've been on Market Street in San Francisco. I'm crossing one side of Market Street to go to the other side so I could go down to Bart, right? And I hear this voice, hey, babe, something, something. And so I'm like, what? I didn't respond at first. And so I'm walking, I'm in the intersection. And so then I hear it again, right? I turn around and there's nobody there. I had to look down and it's this crippled man in a wheelchair trying to holler. You know what I did? That's when I was running 5 miles a day. I looked at him and I took off running. And I just ran. I left him. He was, wheeling his little self. And I just down the stairs and into Bart. I didn't say shit to him. I just jetted up on out of there. I'm like, wow, this is really kind of amazing. How did this happen? And a lot of women will be like, this is what I attract. I don't feel like that at all. You know what attracted him to me? My big booty. That's what it was. Because it was like right at his eye level, right? And I'm walking across the street and I'm working out, I'm running and stuff. I had a nice figure. And so that's what it attracted. So ladies, it's not that you attract him with any particular energy. He just saw some ass in his face and he wanted to try to get some with his toothless, crippled ass. Don't nobody was interested in that fool. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Oh yes, this is one that I just put in here for fun. I made this meme about 10 years ago. And to me, when I saw him with that picture with that mustache, it just reminded me of Scooby Doo. He just looked like Scooby Doo to me. And then I found a picture I had of Scooby Doo, and I put the mustache on there using my Photoshop, and there you go, twins. Now I wasn't gonna touch him because he might have had lice or some shit. I'm not touching nobody in a wheelchair. Mm-mm. Yeah, I broke out. Ah, so there you go. So let's move on to some real dustiness. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Mr. Whatever his last name is. That Steve person. Not a fan. As you can tell, I had fun making that. Okay, now somebody sent me this. Um, I don't remember who sent it, but yeah, I got so many. Like I said, so y'all was sending them some meme sending folks. And this one was I just stared at it in disbelief. Look at the lady now. The wheelchair back there, her leg is a nub. She don't got no eyeballs. And this is what it says. A real woman will do whatever it takes to keep you happy, even if that's selling one leg and two eyeballs. What are you supposed to do with this? Ah, what do you do with this? And after she do all that, he not gonna want her because he gonna be like, "Oh, you blind bitch, and you can't walk and they can't dance and can't do nothing." What? Yes, look at this. This was kind of amazing. I hope it is sarcasm, but you never know. You just never know. So I included it because I'm not here to make a determination about whether it was sarcasm or not. I'm merely here to show it because it does show a black couple. And so this is directed towards black women being a quote real woman. Whether it's meant to be funny or not, it's still directed towards African American women. And that is why it is on this show. Joke or not, it's there. All right. So they don't call it hoeing around anymore. Now it's called living my best life. Why do we have to be hoeing around when we just want to enjoy our sexuality just like they do? Everyone's adults here. Nobody's like, a child. Yes, this is that dusty logic, all right. You know, living my best life, I mean, that's incorporates so much more than sex though. And it just shows you how men only think that we are all one thing. We're just like we're nothing but that to them. We can't say living our best life is being, with being what am I trying to say? Fulfilled emotionally, spiritually, creatively, traveling, learning, growing, developing yourself into the person that you want to be, eating better, sleeping better, taking care of yourself physically, getting your beauty treatments and things. I mean, just doing things to take care of yourself. That's what living your best life is. But to them, It's only about who you sleep with. I don't even know what to do with that because the simpleness, the lack of intellect is just mind boggling. And then they get mad that we don't want to date them. Maybe if your IQ is over 16, it might be good. Can we at least get that bad boy up into the triple digits? Because, you in them double digits, some of you probably single digits, that ain't really working. Your intellect is far too low. So this is a perfect example of it. Whew. Okay, next slide. Exactly, little Buddha. Now, this is something that's been going around. I don't know. I first saw it on, I think, Instagram or Twitter or something, where there's this thing that says, black men don't cheat. And I'm like, what is this? And it was like, getting some legs. I mean, what they call it, going viral and whatnot. Now, if you notice on his shirt, black men don't cheat, Socrates. Socrates has not yet, even after death, made any quote about black men and what they do with their dick. Just, and so you see this kind of stuff. It's like, okay, you know what? Somebody's gonna be stupid enough to believe that that was real. That was real, and that Socrates, a great philosopher, actually said that. And Princess Z say this needs to stop. Oh, it does need to stop. I'm seeing the moderators having to hide a lot of comments over there. You guys are saying inappropriate things and calling out websites and all kind of stuff. I told you all before, kind of watch that. We're cleaning stuff up because we don't want our videos flagged by Google, YouTube, aka Google. So watch what you type. You don't need to mention nobody's names and all them X-rated words. Um, yeah, no philosopher said this, and so it's kind of interesting to see, him wearing this shirt and looking all serious and stuff. And then the woman who posted it, this was her comment: just because someone made an unfavorable decision in the past doesn't mean that all men should be barred from redemption, or does it? Okay, how did you bar all quote all of anything or even any from redemption? Redemption is something that the person does on their own. See, I don't think she understands the concept of redemption. Redemption is a change in behavior that is demonstrated over time to make up for the problems and the pain and the trauma and the wounds that you caused. Okay, so if he decides that he wants redemption, that is within his power to get for himself. You don't give that to anyone. I redeem myself. So you ladies don't, this whole thing here was a mind fuck. It was wrong from top to bottom, just way off base. And when you see stuff like this is the kind of stuff that's why I put it on here because on the surface, it looks plausible. I mean, it looks, like normal, like it would be something that you might think about. But you have to look deeper, and that's why you have me. And so this is bullshit. Okay. And anybody who says, I was something about redemption, like this woman who wrote this, it's like, chick, you don't get it. He got to redeem himself. You don't have shit to do with that. He's going to show the world by his series of actions and changes in behavior and his, whatever he goes on to do, that he is working on redeeming himself. Okay. That's his program to run, not yours. You have nothing to do with that. Well, my thing, I don't even care what other race they go to. As long as they're not wrecking havoc in a black woman and child's life, I'm all for it. Go be with a Martian. I don't care. That's so irrelevant to me. I don't get in my feelings about that. I suggest you not either. You don't do that. So this was a bunch of bullshit, and I'm calling it out on that. So let's move on to the next one. Now, look at this. Look at this. If a man cheats, then a woman should apologize and work on being a better woman. So he cheats on you, but he's looking for you to apologize to him and work on being a better woman. So you supposed to have like the magic strings so you can keep him from cheating. Somehow that's your responsibility. This is, well, on this show we call it Dusty Logic. In my real life, I call it nigga logic, but it's stupid. That's what it is. You know, if you decide to break we have an agreement between us, whether it's marriage or, we're not married, but we have this agreement that we're going to only deal with each other. And you break that agreement, I'm not apologizing to you. I'm terminating you. You're out of here, buddy. And I would go and be a better woman elsewhere because the better woman that I am is too good for you. That's where that is. And and it's my thing is this, I'm all like I keep telling you guys, single people to me, you single, you ain't married. But if you make an agreement with someone that becomes like a contract, you've made a promise to do something, you have this agreement with this individual, well then maybe you need to adhere to it, you know. I mean, personally, that's why I don't like having that, type that boyfriend girlfriend thing. I don't like that. Either we just kicking it or we're married. See, in my mind, there's only them two things. And I don't care if you've been kicking it for 5 years, you still single. I'm still single. I might go down the street tomorrow and see somebody I want to be with more than I want to be with you. And guess what? I'm going to do that. Why? Because I'm single. To me, that's how it works. And that's like, a lot of women don't, well, no, that's my man, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but you're not married to dude. So, I mean, how you going to be claiming all this stuff on somebody who's single? He can't claim that on you either. But, like I said, some people go through all the great pains and make these agreements and these, they drop these little contracts and we're going to live together and we're going to pay. And, they have it all spelled out. Okay, well, then you've kind of, reached a middle ground where you may not be married yet. And but you both signed something where you're agreeing that this is the standards of which you're going to maintain this relationship, and then this guy violates it, this woman violates it, whatever, then relationship is pretty much shot. And so if I had a situation like that and he cheated, I'm not going to apologize ever. You could die waiting for that to happen. And like I said, I'm already a better woman. I'm too good for you, and so I'm going to move on. And I suggest you do the same. That's what's going to be happening right there. So there it is again, so you can see it. Apologize and work on being a better woman. We don't know who these people are, Mitch. These are things from all over the internet, all over social media. Ooh. Some of them came from the YouTube wall right here. Oh. Had a sip of water, went down the wrong way. All right. Oh, yes. Yeah, you guys got more. I will put the slide up again at the end of this to tell you where to send them. So let's move on to the next one. This clown, I can never be with a woman who thinks getting married is more important than having children. So that basically means if you're the kind of woman that don't want to be a baby mama, you want to have your children within the confines of a marriage, because that's your, spiritual, religious belief, your own personal moral value. I mean, whatever reason, because you don't have to be doing that because of religion. It could be because you have good sense and you understand that marriage is a legal protection for both yourself as wife and your children. Because your children will get all kind of benefits if he dies. and you were his wife, and they were his, his legal children in his house and stuff. And then if you just the baby mama, because niggas don't think about leaving wills and stuff like that, setting up trusts for their kids. They don't do none of that kind of stuff. So the best chance you're gonna have is, if he's got a job and he's gonna get some retirement benefits or some kind of death benefits or something like that, as his wife, that's just gonna slide right on over to you. And whatever stuff he owns, you get it without having to go through probate because you're the wife. So there's all kind of advantages to it, and having lived through that situation, I can tell you personally that that's the best approach. It's after you start having kids. So this guy is just a knucklehead. He's promoting baby mamaism, and a lot of women had that attitude. Well, marriage is just a piece of paper anyway, and why do I need to? We don't need to be married, and we gonna be together. He said we gonna be together, or rather, he say we gonna be together. And I just be when the little girls be talking that smack. I'm like, God, you are so stupid. I wish you would just like get some intellect real quick before you fall prey to this nonsense. Oh, okay. Here's more promotion of baby mamaism, wifeyism, whatever they call it, where you're auditioning to be a wife. You're giving up all kinds of services, time, energy, and effort to a man that you are not married to. See, I don't do that. Even like cooking and women want to go over their boyfriend's house and clean it up for him and all that stuff. I'm not doing any of that. Not doing it. You better call Mary Maid. Your shit is all raggedy. And look how it does. Like, if you don't do that for your man, you're a hoe. Look, are you understanding this? The message here? So it's like you got to do wifey shit if you want to really be the wifey. That's what he's saying. You got to audition and prove what kind of wife you could be. How valuable you would be to him before you do. Otherwise, you just a hoe. I'm like, wow, this is just kind of amazing. This is really kind of amazing. See, but most women, let's think about it. Most women be like, oh, I take care of my man. I do that for my man. I'm not no hoe. Ooh, I'm not doing shit. I'm not doing it. I'm just not. Yeah, it's some kind of reverse psychology, mind, or, mind manipulation thing. And that's why I'm really glad I started doing this. It's a different kind of programming than we usually do here, but I don't need to come up with examples for the stuff. I just show you the examples that's already online and just explain to you why it's bullshit. So it's kind of what I've been doing, but in reverse. And so I don't have to find examples to, talk about to talk about my to augment what my topic is. Rather, I make the topic on the example, and so this is actually far easier. And you guys, a lot of you have already seen these memes. By the time I get to them, it's been floating around all over the internet, and most of you have already seen this stuff. And I'm the only one to that is new to, but I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. It's like, where has my, it's like I'm just seeing this stuff for the first time, or really just like being conscious of it. Because usually when I would see stuff like this on, wherever on social media, so I scroll on by, I don't even look at it. But one day I started, I was on one forum and some people had a bunch of these, and so I was looking at them, and it was like the light came on. It's like, oh my God, what kind of mess is this? Look at the messages that they're giving these women, and the women just co-signing. Oh yeah, because that's and that, blah blah blah, all the stuff, and they're just really just was really eating it up, and I was just sitting here just like, what? Amazed, amazed. So yeah, this is this. He wants you to be wifey, and before you could be wifey. So he's not saying that he's gonna marry you now. So notice you just go from wifey shit to be a really wifey. But what is a wifey? A wifey is just you ain't married, you still single. That's just some bullshit Dusty logic word. That don't mean nothing. Somebody talking about, you my wifey. You could keep that. The disease of dust. Husband training. Shh, don't hold your breath. You will be dead and all kind of pickled and everything else, messing around waiting for that to happen. Now, see, this lady, I like how she thinks. Now, this isn't a dusty thing, but it's to combat the dustiness that we just saw. That's why I had to put it up here. She understands what time it is. Until I see a ring on my finger, I'm still very much accessible to every nigga with height and money. I'm not going to spend my prime years being exclusive to someone who can't do as much as claim me properly. What the fuck is that? And I am so feeling her on that. And even the ring on your fingers, there's no guarantee of anything because, engagements are broken all the time, even up until the day of the wedding. So, I mean, it's better than the alternative, but I mean, I still wouldn't put too much stock on that. But she, is right. I mean, until there's a ring on it, somebody's showing some investments in in her to the tune of thousands of dollars for a diamond ring and talking about a wedding date and stuff like that. Well, then that's a lot more likely to be a real situation. Like he's really thinking of permanency than somebody who's just talking shit. And like, girl, yeah, I love you, girl. Me and you, girl. But he ain't doing nothing. Nothing is just like you spinning your wheels. And so this is a very important, concept I think a lot of young women don't understand because we get these letters in on What the Fuck Tuesdays, right? And the young ladies are talking about, well, I've been dating him for 5 years. I've been dating him for 8 years. I've been dating him for 7 years. I've been dating him for 4 years. And I'm like, why? What are you doing? Why are you giving this fool all these your valuable prime years of mate selection when you at your finest and youngest and whatever, and you're wasting it on this dude? I tell y'all, you don't if motherfuckers not making noises about making it permanent in a year, get rid of him. Move on. It's not gonna. It's nothing. It's not gonna happen. You're just wasting your time. He's just gonna string you along and use you up, and then he's gonna get somebody else to do the same thing, start the whole cycle all over again. Then end up, 45 or 50 years old, try to look for a young wife when he's all broken down, Viagra needing, and his back is bad, got the sugar and everything else. No, no, Holmes, y'all need to be much more focused on yourselves and what's best for you. And if you don't want to get married, then get your ass a passport and go on a plane and go somewhere else. Go to some countries where there's like a whole bunch of men and over like in the Scandinavia or some damn where it's cold as hell, but they like black women over there. Yeah, we cussing. We gave up on that. What I was trying to do though is not do too much of it on WTF Tuesday because I wanted those ones to have ads on them. These I've given up because even if it's not my language, the content of the memes and stuff is like Google's like, nah. Nah, sister girl, that ain't happening. So they're giving this video thumbs down. Psh, I don't care. That don't stop nothing. You know what I mean? Because the very fact that they was here looking at the video, cha-ching. So they could thumbs down all they want to. That doesn't bother me. I want more of them to come and thumbs down. Because every time they look at the video, that's more money. So, that works for me. Be mad. Come on over here and be mad. Bring your friends. Bring 10 of them. Let's have a be mad party. And hit that don't like button. And let that video play so I get some money. Yeah, I'm like, it's like my life extends beyond YouTube. This is not the source of my main source of anything. I do this because I like it. And the last one did. Oh, well, that was good. Yeah, I mean, some of them will, it will. Okay, let me put it this way. It's not like it will have no ads. Google has three levels. They have no ads, period, because it's like adult content or whatever. Then they have limited ads, and that's only for people that have materials that are for 18 and over people and that are have to do with stuff that they don't mind, a little bit of racy language. That's a strictly a advertiser choice. And then they have suitable for all advertisers, and that's where you get the most revenue because you get the most opportunities for ads. You can have diaper ads, you can have, makeup ads, you can have laundry, I mean, whatever. But when I get the limited ads, I have to wait for ads that have to do with more adult things. Like one time, the Macy's did a big campaign on my channel for lingerie. And it was pretty racy. They showed people, walking around in bra and panties and stuff like that. Okay, they're not going to run that on every channel. They're only going to run it on certain channels that have, that kind of adult demographic. So stuff like that. So it's not like I don't get any ads, but it's just it's limited. Let me put it that way. So the more that you can get that suitable for all advertisers rating, the more the more revenue that your show will pull in. So I'm just having to be happy with the limited ads opportunities. All right. So let's see. There we were talking about that. Young ladies, so you guys, pay attention to that. Do not waste years and years of your life dating anybody. You give them a year. There's a video. I will put it up here. I will link to it about why you should only wait a year. That if he's not making any noises about making things permanent, and you in your mid to late 20s, you just get rid of his ass. Don't you waste your time with him. Then next you're gonna be 33, 35. Oh, I want to get married, I want to have a family, and then you're gonna feel like I'm too old and you wasted your time. Don't do that. Get rid of him. Move on. Now this little boy here, he says that he want to be loved, but women nowadays don't have a heart to love with. And he put his little pitiful hashtag, all facts. And I was like, oh, poor little tink tink. He just all up in his feelings. He want to be loved. But honey, okay, you want to be loved, but are you lovable? Are you loving? What do you give women to make them want to love you? See, that's where men fall short. Very self-centered, very selfish, talking about themselves and what they like and what they want and what women should give them and which women should be for them and stuff. And it's very rare when you hear a man talk about what he's going to do for his wife, girlfriend, whatever, and what he's bringing to her life. What kind of love are you going to be demonstrating to her, sir? And you think the women should have a heart. Why should a woman have a heart and love you? I mean, how's that benefiting her to love you? Unless you're going to love her back. So, and it's not like women don't have a heart. I mean, I want to say this because some women, are kind of cold. But what the thing is, it's not that they don't have a heart. What it is their heart is more guarded than when they were really young or innocent, and they just, gave it to anybody that said that they cared about them. As you get more mature, you realize that relationships have to be reciprocal. And if you're giving, 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 and you're not getting much in back, and you have a series of relationships with men like that, well, that's gonna make you, a lot less willing to give in the future. You're gonna be more, you know, focused on getting your needs met. And if the guy's not willing to do that and step up and show you that he's gonna do that for you, then you keep your heart to yourself. So for him, it's coming across as um, that they don't have a heart, but they do very much have a heart. But it's just not giving it out to anybody for any reason. Exactly. That's my line, girl. I'm telling you. What's in it for me? How's it benefit me to love you? And I hate to be like that, but that's pretty much the way it is. Right? You talk about this unconditional love stuff. See, I'm a believer that there's no such thing. Even with parents and children, at least not in my world. You let me have a child to do some egregious shit. My love has conditions, and it includes you gonna respect me. You're not gonna be cheating me out of stuff. You're gonna be stealing my shit, thinking you're supposed to be putting your hands on me. You're not gonna hurt my kid. You're not gonna hurt my dog or cat if I had one. My little turtles. Nothing. You're not gonna do any harm to me or the people that I love. You ain't gonna fuck up my credit. You're not gonna do nothing. You do any of those kind of things, fuck with my money, my heart, my mind, and my child. Those are my four things. See, because those things, those are kind of irreplaceable things. You do something like that, you out of here. And you talk about love is unconditional. My love has plenty of conditions. And the second I see you doing some fuck shit, then my love is going back in my pocket. And you can go to hell or wherever you came from. Just take your little happy ass right on back over there. And that's just how I am. Now, women be like, "Oh, but I love him though." That phrase does not exist in my vocabulary. I never say "but I love him though." That's never come from my lips. Mm-mm. 'Cause Deb loves Deb more than any man. I'm just like, I just can't do it. So, I'm looking at him and he's like all facts to convince his little self. It's just like a little tink tink with a broken heart. I don't even know what to say. I laughed at first. And then I say, oh, he's probably in pain, but he doesn't understand what the nature is of a relationship. He thinks it's all about, getting like somebody's his mama. And it's not about that. Now, this got on my everlasting nerves with this one right here. Dude, um, he got one of them Hotep names. Notice that? I can't even pronounce the shit, but it's up there at the top. And he says a good wife or a quote virtuous woman is not a self proclaimed title. Only your husband can say that about you. Only his words and opinions of you matter to the Most High. Get your priorities straight, baby girl. Serves him right are his hashtags. Nigga. See, nigga logic. Oops, I'm supposed to say dusty logic. Well, whatever, it's dusty nigga logic. There, let's put a combination up. This fool right here is trying to position. See, when I told you all about control, here's a perfect example. You can't say that you're a good person by yourself. You can't say that you're a good wife. You can't say that you are a virtuous woman, which is a biblical description. It don't have shit to do with him. Okay, he's not the decider of what your virtue is. If you believe in that God stuff, then that's the one who decides it ain't his nigga ass. He a Hebrew Israelite, whatever the fuck that is. They always be people be talking. Some girl got mad because I said something about abortion or something, or said I said I wasn't religious, and she said she was a Hebrew Israelite and she was gonna unsubscribe. I said, bye, bitch. I mean, what the fuck you want from me? I keep every tell everybody I'm not a religious person, and everybody here knows that. So I try to be respectful, but it's like I still gonna have my beliefs, and I believe in abortion, and that's just the way that it is. And this situation here, I don't believe any man has a right to tell a woman that she can't decide what she define herself. He could kiss the inside of my ass. You are a good wife if you say you are. Okay, because every man's standards of what's a good wife is different. Every woman's standard of what's a good wife is different. If you think you a good wife, then your ass is a good wife as far as I'm concerned. And virtues, like I said, that's decided by the Bible. That's not his call to make. And your husband can say whatever he wants to say about you because a lot of them will say stupid stuff too. They say that women are stupid. They say you fat, you dumb, you ugly. When they're abusive type, they're gonna say all kind of stuff about you. And then if you put up too much stock in what his words and opinions of you are over your own, you would be a wreck, an emotional, like ping pong ball battered around by whatever he felt like saying to you. This is exactly what happens to women in abusive relationships, though. They live for his praise, and then he withdraws it and yanks it out from under them, and the women are left over there all devastated in tears and stuff. And so this is a perfect example though of why it is important for you to work on boundaries. Well, I don't know who wrote it, but it's some dusty shit and whatever. She says she thinks it's a woman who wrote it. I'm saying it's a man, but it doesn't matter. It could be a combination thereof. It could be an alien. I don't care who wrote it. It's bullshit. And that's what I'm talking about. But the bottom line is when you have a husband like, a man who wants to put himself in a position of being able to dictate to you how you define yourself and how you see yourself, and you're dependent upon his approval. Remember, there was some weeks ago I did a video critical analysis of a guy who put up a video talking about, I think it was called the 5 ways something. I forgot what I called it. But anyway, I dissected his video, and there was 5 ways he was trying to set up women to be controlled, and this was one of the ways by saying he was saying that make a woman seek your approval. That's what he was saying in the video. It was a five something. Uh, well, I don't know. I should have thought about that before. But anyway, I'll try to remember to link to that too. And he was telling the guys that they need to make a woman earn work for his approval, and that should be her whole thing. And this is an example of it. This guy trying to set women up to do that, saying that only his words and opinions of you matter, and then say, and to the Most High. It's like, motherfucker, what you God your buddy now? That's your boy, your nigga. So y'all like besties and shit, doing selfies together and all of that. So you like he got a special relationship with God that you don't have. He's some special and unique. His relationship with the Most High is better than yours or anybody else's on this planet because that's your man and he's telling you that and you believe it. This nigga is this trip. Yeah, they want to hurt your self-esteem because by hurting your self-esteem, they break you and it makes you easier to what? Say it with me now. Control. I keep telling you guys that it's all about control. Every single thing they do is about getting control of you. It's like if black men put 1/10 as much energy into developing some shit and rebuilding the black community as they do in trying to control black women, the black community would just go crazy with wonderful things, accomplishments, new buildings, jobs, education, kids that are loved and cared for. 10% of the energy that they spend on bullshit like this, controlling men, trying to control women. Just so stupid, useless bullshit. Time just wasted just doing nothing. You're never going to control women. You might get a few that you can control here and there. As soon as they wise up, they're going to leave your dumb ass. They want to be controlled. It's not even low key, Dominique. It's outright abuse. This is emotional abuse. That's what that is. Trying to put himself in position to, dictate how you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself, until you can't say that you're good or accomplished or that you're wonderful or that you're virtuous or that you're anything unless he tells you that it's okay and he gives you his approval. It's like, man, because they kiss the inside of my ass. I wish. All right, let's move on. Now this, I found this today too. This was another one I changed to slide out. And I was like, okay, okay, you guys know who Mugabe is? He used to be, what was he, the prime minister of, what was it called before it changed to Zimbabwe? Rhodesia. Rhodesia was the name of the country. And then I think sometime in the 70s or whatever, 80s or something, it changed to Zimbabwe. Okay, so he was a prime minister, and then he became the president of Zimbabwe up until 2017 when his ass got put in cuffs or something. Something bad happened to Mugabe. But anyway, so now they're attributing this to Mugabe's, saying that he did it. Now, I don't believe that. I don't believe this for a minute. But some people will put stuff on the internet and say that somebody said it, and everybody believes it because they don't really know who Mugabe is, and so they would, follow along with it. But I'm a history buff as well. I just read everything, and I know a lot of shit. It's useless information, but I probably would be really good on one of those trivia shows. So this dude here, whoever put this stupid meme together, is saying that Mugabe says that you cannot give a woman everything that she needs. If God himself gave them eyebrows, then they shave it off and draw on their own. God gave them nails, they cut them off and fix their own. God gave them hair, they cut it off and fix their own. He gave them breasts, they repackaged it to be what they want. God still gave them buttocks and arranged it to the size that they want. Even if God can't satisfy them, then who are you to think that you can please them? My brother, don't kill yourself. And they're attributing that to a guy who is president of a nation in Africa. And dude was on it. I mean, the white people did not like Mugabe because he was like on their ass about that apartheid and them coming in trying to take over shit and British control of the country and stuff. He was not having it. So I admired him. He's an asshole, and a lot of people lost their lives. But certain principles about getting his country back under black control, I was 100% behind that. Now his tactics for doing it, I don't know about all that home skillet, but his concept was a good one. But anyway, that's why I know about Mugabe. So I doubt seriously that he said any of this, but that's what they are attributing it to. And like this man don't have nothing to do but sit around but talk about women's eyebrows and weaves. You see what I'm saying? And what do they do all that in some nigga in Compton put this shit together. And they probably learned about Mugabe on the internet and said, "Ooh, I'm gonna make it seem like he did this." So sad. I know he didn't say that. I'm just saying this is why you got to really be careful about what you see on the internet. Believing everything that you see that is said to somebody said, because they just be lying. Just so stupid. Okay, let's see what else do I got here. I think this is the last one. I put this one on here just because I thought it was funny. Because this girl was like, she was like, I don't even know what to do with a boyfriend. Like, half until you feed it. Do you have to walk it? I was rolling. So that was very cute. But that's my concept. It's like, what is this boyfriend shit? If you out of high school, college maybe, you shouldn't have a boyfriend. You either have a man or several men that you're dealing with. Because it should be more than one if you ain't committed. Or you have a husband. I mean, anything else is just bullshit. You just letting a nigga tie up your time and your body, and you ain't getting shit out of it. We're not going down that road. So y'all better keep that thing in mind. What's in it for me? You giving a man, and you cooking for him, you cleaning, you having his babies and shit, buying property with him, buying dogs with him, and running his kids around and doing all the stuff, playing stepmother role, and you ain't married. What are you doing? You're just doing too much. That's what you're doing. I repeat now for those of you who want to send, maybe you come across some stuff, keep this in mind because this is where you would be sending your screenshots or memes that you find. Just take a picture of it with your phone and send it to me. Or if it's something, that you can take a screenshot of on your laptop or desktop, do that and send it to me. I'll take care of the cropping and all of that. So don't worry about that part. And none of your name will never be used. So don't worry about that either. Um, and email it to me at survivingdating@gmail.com and make the subject line Dusty News. It got to be Dusty News and it will filter rather right into the folder that we have set up for that. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Sunday afternoon levities. There's some crazy people online. These people are out their minds. I just don't even know what to say. And the ideas, but when you look at this stuff, like I said, I was looking, but I wasn't really seeing, because I scroll by. I would be like looking for certain types of posts to talk about on the show or something. So I wasn't really looking at like anything that had like a picture on it like that. I wasn't looking at those. And I just, started doing that maybe like a month or so ago. And my mind has just been blown ever since. It's like, wow, I was like missing like half the crap that's on the internet. Not like I missed it, but I was missing it. And I think it's very important, especially for those of you who spend a lot of time online, especially if you young ones. You guys got to really understand what the hell they're trying to get in your head, and what they're trying to make you think about yourself, and the bullshit they're trying to get you to accept. So you got to. This whole purpose of doing these segments is to point out the nonsense that's being promoted and as like used as a tool to brainwash you into accepting nonsense from men, mistreatment, abuse, neglect, and setting yourself up to be used. You got to be very, very careful about that stuff. Steal yourself, and try to figure out what you need to do about your self esteem so that you don't be coming off all thirsty for some attention. I saw some stuff in this one group. Oh my God, these ones, I'm like, sisters, come on now, really? It can't be that serious where you got to be acting like this and saying these kind of things to these men online. It's just unbelievable. But that's it for today. We're gonna be back on Tuesday with What the Fuck Tuesday live stream advice. If you have an advice question you want to be considered, you still got time to get it in. Go into the show description page, that description, and you'll see the link to the advice submission form below. Do not email advice questions. Use the submission form. I need your release signed, and it's on the form. But anyway, thanks everybody for sitting in with me, and I will see you on Tuesday. This is Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com. Thank you, moderators. Thanks everybody for coming. And I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye bye.